Some deaths are tragedies, others are messages. History is full of unidentified bodies, yet none have left behind a labyrinth as complex as the woman found in the frozen valleys of Norway in the winter of 1970. She carried no identification. The brand labels on her clothes had been removed with a razor blade. Her suitcases contained coded notes, fake passports, and wigs. She lived like a ghost, and she died like a secret. Welcome to the story of the woman who has kept European intelligence services, the Norwegian police, and amateur detectives awake for half a century. They called her the Isdal Woman. But who was she really? A spy? An international criminal? Or a victim who had to be silenced because of what she knew? We are opening the doors of the hidden archives. This is a cold case concealed by ice and fire. The date, November 29th, 1970. The place, Bergen, Norway. The Isdalen Valley, a place locals call the Valley of Death, a rugged terrain rarely visited even by hikers. That Sunday morning, a father and his 2 young daughters ventured into the steep rocks for a hike. But instead of the crisp mountain air, they were met with a sharp, disturbing smell, the smell of burning flesh. When they stumbled upon the partially charred body of a woman hidden among the rocks, they didn't realize they had just pulled back the curtain on the greatest mystery in Norwegian history. The crime scene didn't look like a typical murder site. It looked like a ritual, or perhaps a very carefully staged scene. The woman was lying on her back. Her hands were clenched over her chest as if to protect herself. Surrounding her were objects placed with strange meticulousness. Next to her lay an empty bottle of St. Halvard liqueur, 2 plastic water bottles, and a box of sleeping pills. But the strangest part was the burnt remains of a silver spoon and her passport, found right beside her. When the police conducted their initial investigation, things got even stranger. The labels on her clothes, even the tag on the scarf around her neck, had been cut off with scissors. Why would a person cut the labels off their clothes? The answer was simple: too untraceable. This woman did not want anyone to know where she came from, what she wore, or who she was. The autopsy revealed more than 50 sleeping pills in her stomach. There was smoke in her lungs, meaning she was alive when she started burning. On her neck, a suspicious bruise was found, possibly from a blow or a fall. The police were inclined to close the case as a suicide. However, 2 fake suitcases found at the Bergen railway station were about to change everything. Police discovered 2 unclaimed blue suitcases in the lockers at the train station. The fingerprints on the suitcases matched the woman found in the valley. Detectives thought these suitcases would solve the woman's identity. Instead, the contents turned the knot into an even tighter tangle. What came out of the suitcases were not the belongings of an ordinary tourist. 4 different currencies, Norwegian and German marks, Belgian and Swiss francs, prescription-free glasses with non-corrective lenses, items used solely for disguise, various wigs, cosmetics, and again, every single garment in the suitcase had its label removed down to the finest detail. Even the manufacturer's stamp on her comb and brush had been scraped off. This was a professional clean-up. But the most important item was a black notebook. The pages were filled with seemingly random numbers and letters. In the tensest days of the Cold War, the police suspected these codes might be related to espionage, and they were right. When the codes were broken, it was revealed to be a travel log: Paris, Hamburg, Oslo, Stavanger, Bergen. The Isdal woman was moving through Europe like a shadow, and in every city she used a different name. 8 different identities, 8 different passports: Claudia Tielt, Vera Jarl, Alexia Zana Merches. The passports were so professionally forged that she passed through border controls without issue. Sometimes she introduced herself as a Belgian antique dealer, other times as a South African tourist. She did the same thing with hotel records. She changed her handwriting on the forms, writing a different age and profession every single time. But why? Who was she running from? Or whom was she hunting? The year was 1970. The world was shivering under the freezing winds of the Cold War. Norway was NATO's most strategic stronghold in the north. At that very time, a top-secret military operation was being conducted near Bergen, the testing of the new generation Penguin missiles. When the police compared the Isdal Woman's travel route with the dates of the military exercises, they faced a chilling reality. The woman was there whenever and wherever a military test was taking place. In Stavanger, in Bergen. She stayed in hotels near secret military bases. Witness statements strengthened this theory. A hotel employee said the woman constantly rearranged the furniture in her room, and once saw her standing in the corridor, leaning against the wall as if spying on someone. She spoke German, but her English was flawless. One witness mentioned she smelled of garlic. At that time, garlic was rarely used in Norwegian cuisine. Even this detail highlighted how foreign she was. The most striking testimony came from just a few days before her death. A 24-year-old fisherman had seen the Isdal Woman near Stavanger, but she wasn't alone. She was accompanied by two men in stylish coats who looked southern. When the woman saw the fisherman, she opened her mouth to say something, but upon seeing the look in the men's eyes, she fell silent in fear. The fisherman went to the police, but the answer he received was shocking. "Forget this incident. This case is over your head." Who gave this order? What was Norwegian intelligence trying to cover up? The file was shelved as a suicide. The police claimed the woman was mentally unstable, paranoid, and had set herself on fire. But why would a woman swallow 50 pills before setting herself on fire? Or conversely, if she was going to commit suicide, why choose to burn herself? And what about the bruise on her neck? Nothing made sense. Years later, as technology advanced, the file was reopened. In 2016, tissue samples from the Isdal Woman's jaw were subjected to modern isotope analysis. Bones do not lie. The results showed the woman was born around 1930 in Germany, likely near Nuremberg. She had spent her childhood during the Second World War on the France-Germany border. The fillings in her teeth were done with a technique specific to Eastern Europe, possibly East Germany or the Soviet bloc. These data brought theories involving Israeli intelligence, Mossad, to the agenda. Was she an agent hunting post-war Nazis, or a mole working for the KGB? The coded notes in her bag were a method frequently used by KGB agents at the time. Yet, neither the KGB nor Mossad nor the CIA ever claimed this woman. On February 5, 1971, the Isdal Woman was buried in an unmarked grave according to Catholic rites. Only 16 police officers attended her funeral. No one left flowers on her coffin. There wasn't even a name on her tombstone. Despite the more than 50 years that have passed, the Isdal Woman still stares at us from those faded photographs. The spoon in her suitcase, the St. Halvard liqueur, 8 fake passports, and a burnt life. Was she a spy exposed during a mission? A desperate woman fleeing an international crime syndicate? Or simply a broken soul who wanted to be erased from the world? The truth is, she succeeded. She incinerated her identity, her past and her story along with herself. The only thing we have left is this unsolved file we are placing back on the dusty shelves of the hidden archives. What is your theory about this story? Who do you think the Isdal Woman was? Let's discuss the truth hidden in the shadows in the comments below. To continue wandering the borders of the unknown, don't forget to subscribe to Hidden Archives and turn on the notification bell to break the silence of that dark forest. Keep searching, because the truth is always hidden in the archives.